First of all, you need a pan. This is a two quart one. I use 1 pound or 2 cups of sour cream and 2 cups of sugar. The pot will look like this inside after it's made. I don't usually take it out until I'm all finished with all the process. Okay, I'm going to add the sugar. I use Daisy sour cream pure. No other ingredients, possibly just a little milk which they add. Do not use light. It uses skim milk and it changes the whole process. And they cut back on the sour cream. I'm turning the burner on to about 4 1/4. I usually use the electric stove. I've never used a gas stove or a stove that has a flat plate because I'm not sure what it would do. I never had one anyway. Do with that here. Use a wooden spoon to stir. And I start stirring right away a little bit because otherwise the brown sugar or the sugar will brown and it's got to dissolve together first. Okay, in between I have a cooling rack, and then I have a jelly roll pan or a cookie sheet with a ledge. Then I spray it with Pam or another spray that you may want. And in between I go back to stirring. And you can see that it's melting together. The other thing that you have to be cautious of is make sure once it starts cooking, you go in the same direction the entire process. Otherwise you will have bubbles in this mother's candy. Okay. This is my rest moments in between. I usually use, one that starts boiling, I will need to put on a pot holder. And I usually get one that fits over my hand quite a bit because it likes to spray. The other thing with your pot, make sure you get a pot with a handle because you have to hold the pot. To keep it steady once it starts boiling. And this, for me and this pot, since it's just a little bit small, I probably would have done better with a 3-quart, but I never tried it with such a small pot. Now, in the archives or one of our houses, we have a copper pot that Sister Elizabeth and Anna used. They never had to lift the pot, but they had to hold the handle. And this is a time when I try to think of everything that I need to remember. Like, I make sure I have this knife available towards the end. I use this baker's knife at the end to make the candy into squares. I'm going to turn it up just a wee bit. It won't take long now. It will start bubbling, and then it will rise. And that's why when it starts happening, you will see my pot going up, and I have to keep stirring because otherwise it will overflow. So I find myself sometimes just praying because it's just a long, tedious. It's starting to do a little something. So you can start seeing it bubble around the edges a little bit. And you can see. And it won't be long and it'll start. Then I can't walk away until it settles down again. And what it's doing is cooking out all the extra moisture so that it can brown. The reason that we made it at that time is I think the leadership used it as gifts at Christmas time. But we made lots those first couple of years that I was up there. I mean, we'd have big trays. The kitchen trays that they have those long. But I don't think Sister Elizabeth ever really purchased any. Whenever it came in, and usually it was Christmas time and the holidays time that they had the most. And then if she would cheat once in a while and say, "Oh, let's put some half and half in there too." And of course, like I said, in the 60s you didn't have all the different varieties and the things that they put in today. It's rising already. Can you see it? It's going to take a full hour. And it's important to keep mixing it so it all gets the same shade before it browns again. I can smell the browning process. It starts with just noticing before it starts actually smelling. You can notice the white changing to a cream, and then a little darker cream, more of a tint of brown. Now you can smell the browning process. It gets stronger as the color changes. It's almost there. It'll take a while, but it's for me the process is almost over. Forgot to take this off. Your whole body has to get into business once in a while. There. first time you're going over it, you do it very lightly, otherwise you're going to get stuck. Okay, then when I tried to do, did you hear it crack? And it split a little bit over here. So I just start taking over there. Of course, I wash my hands before. Then I start just breaking down. I put this on the edge, and at this time, the sisters or somebody will get the scraps. You light.